And we are getting ready. We're almost there. And ladies and gentlemen.
Did you actually hit record, Bobby?
I actually hit record.
Yeah, we nailed that one down.
We got this.
We got that one down.
Welcome. Turn it up.
Welcome to the Biz for Good show with your hosts Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz for Good podcast is a fun and adventurous series that dives into the world of business, nonprofit, and startup show with your hosts Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. The Biz for Good podcast. Get ready for another adventurous series that dives into the world of business, nonprofit, and startup show with your hosts Bobby Glenn James and Ryan Pilkington. Biz for Good podcast. Get ready for another adventurous series. Hey,
This doesn't sound good to everybody else. Why is this the old intro? This is the old
Welcome to the Biz for Good show. What is going on? Welcome to the Biz for Good show. Okay,
This is what happened last time.
Trust me, we got this. Give me just a second. Welcome to the Trust me, I got this. Trust me, I got this. Trust me, I got this.
Bobby, you got it?
Trust me, I got this.
Bobby, you got it?
Trust me, I got this. Okay.
Bobby.
Okay. I got this. Okay. I got this. How do we test this? Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you talk for a minute? Yeah, you.
I will talk now.
Okay, it looks like it was Sky on appear in. So I muted her. We are now officially good to go. People out there in La La Land, that was a test. You knew we cannot do anything without having a little fun first. Okay, we are going to put you on the show, my friend. Welcome to the Biz for Good show. After that crazy intro, Ryan. Who's our guest today? Tell us about our guest.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in to the Biz for Good show. We have episode 61. We'll be sitting down with Travis Lippert of VeedVerks.
VeedVerks.com.
That's right. And the title of the show is Racing to End Prohibition. That is the title of the show today.
Racing to Prohibition. Racing to Prohibition?
Racing to End Prohibition.
Racing to End Prohibition.
Yes.
Travis Lippert is founded VeedVerks in 2015 and launched his first vape pen product in January 2017, followed by the e-liquids and Amelia brand lotions. And now manufactures and distributes 12 products in 57 stores in 14 states. In May of 2017, VeedVerks made history and gained national brand recognition as the first cannabis sponsor to race team in NASCAR's top series. He'll talk about that and much more on today's topic.
Sweet. Welcome, Travis. Welcome to the show. I know it was a rough start, but we got this.
Yeah.
So Travis, tell us a little bit about you. Let's get to know you a little bit. I'm sure everybody wants to know what on earth is this? What's going on? What's your passion about? What drives Travis? Are you kidding me?
and we're going to work through this. And
Okay.
until I hear myself so much in my head that I enter some sort of like fractal.
We freaked you out a little bit. We were trying really hard. So just tell us about yourself. Kind of let our listeners know you.
So my name is Travis Lippert. I'm the CEO of VeedVerks Unlimited Limited, and we. Sorry, man, that delay. I'm going to get used to it. But, we make hemp-derived cannabidiol products. We have e-liquids and vape cartridges and lotions. And I grew up in Kansas. I went to the Air Force Academy. Most of my partners in this endeavor are Air Force Academy graduates, and we started the company in 2015. I think that this was just read in my bio, I assume, but yeah, we started in 2015. We failed for a couple of years to bring it, it just took us 2 years to get our products.
What made you say that I got to get into this? I got to do this. Why? Where's the passion there? What happened?
Where's the passion?
Yeah, or what made you say I got to create this company?
I was working for a pharmaceutical company, and I found out that cannabis is not bad for you, and that in fact it is in many, many cases very good for you. And once I learned that truth, I knew what I had to do with the rest of my life, which was to help end prohibition of cannabis.
Awesome. And we read on your website and stuff, there's differences. People talk about there's CBDs, and that's the big thing, and that's what your stuff has it, and that's a lot of the medicinalness of the cannabis, right? CBD, is that correct?
Yes, that's a big part of it. Cannabis contains over 111 molecules called cannabinoids that are all related to each other.
And so just everybody understands this is legal in all 50 states, correct? Your product? Am I having that much?
I'm sorry. That.
You're having a lot of feedback?
Yes. Yeah, I'm having a ton of feedback. It's on I'd say almost like a 15-second delay, and then it comes back to me.
Let me see if I can fix any of that.
I'm hearing myself say 15 seconds right now.
Weird. Oh, that would be hard to deal with. But we're all professionals here.
Yeah, we got this.
This guy says to lose the feeds.
Lose the feeds. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Lose the feeds. Okay, let's see if Sky, can you get out of appear.in, and let's see if we can just have Travis here. Is that any better?
There. Oh my goodness, that is a lot better.
Okay.
Although in 15 seconds I may say something different. So yeah, once I learned that I had this. I was working for the drug company, and one of my projects was to look into the cannabis industry. And once I started reading papers on PubMed, just the actual science, I realized that they had just everything that I believed about cannabis, especially, but it was just wrong. They lied to us in junior high school, and that really was. I had a specific night I can remember in my life when I just thought, you know what, this is a one-way trip. If you go into this industry, then who knows if you could ever get a job, back in pharmaceuticals again, for sure. But I there was just no turning back. So I made that decision that they lied to us. I'm going to help legalize this plant. People need to stop going to jail over this plant. And THC cures cancer. I mean, once you know that, for me now, it's not just anecdotally, or it's not just friends, it's like family now. There are a lot of types of cancer that THC, it just straight up kills it. And I developed a real passion for the cannabis plant, and we use one small component of that in our products called cannabidiol, which is one of 111 cannabinoids. But they're both, those two and the rest of them are all medicinal in their own incredible, like miracle drug factory type of ways, change your life type of ways. And like, even just with us dealing with cannabidiol, like you wouldn't believe the emails that we get from people. There's no turning back. We are going to help end prohibition and help bring the miracles that lie within this plant to all of our friends and family.
So on the website, it says that your product is 100% legal in all 50 states. So
Yes.
how can that be? Can you explain that to us?
Yes. Yeah. So in 2014, the Agriculture Act of 2014 legalized industrial hemp, and it defined industrial hemp as cannabis sativa L with less than 0.3% THC. In other words, rope. You can smoke, hemp, and it's not super pleasant. It's not. It definitely doesn't get you high. So yeah, they legalized rope, and because rope and the devil's lettuce are all the same plant. They're all the same. It's an extremely diverse plant that has grown up around mankind for 10,000 years, and the plants that are in the Himalayas are short and short and stout and compact, and those plants make you feel a certain way. And then the plants near the equator have, they're very tall and just airy, I guess, and they make you feel a different way. And hemp is a type of that plant that doesn't make you feel any particular way, except in our case, once Congress legalized industrial hemp, then there were certain other stipulations, such that it had to be under the purview of like a state agriculture department, such as the Colorado Department of Agriculture. And people have been breeding now since they did it in 2014. You got to plant there was a seed crop that was planted, right? And then some people, so like two falls ago really was the first real commercial harvest of hemp in this country since 1937. And then this past fall, now it's really starting to, people are harvesting it with combines and stuff. But the reason why our product is legal in 50 states is because Congress made it legal in 2014 with the Industrial Farm Act, or with the Agriculture Act, I'm sorry.
Awesome. Well, Travis, you give us the next question.
Well, I did have a testimonial here from your website, and I wanted to read it. It's, and I have ordered products twice. Both arrived ahead of time. The quality is amazing and a real game changer. I deal with depression and anxiety and just wanted to share my appreciation. I am calm, cool, and collected, even on social situations. A million thanks to you from a person in Ohio. So,
and you've got a whole page giant full of those kind of testimonials, which is super, super cool.
So you're talking about treating cancer, anxiety, depression. I'm sure the list continues.
ADHD, doesn't it even, some people do it for ADHD?
Yeah, if you're asking me, I actually got a phone call. I'm not sure exactly how it ended up that I think they wrote into us, but one of our first, like, oh my goodness, like we're making a difference in people, like in people's lives, was an ADHD college student in Colorado Springs. But we can't
Say that it
at
fixes
some
it.
point. Yeah, at some point, we're probably going to have to take testimonials off our webpage. I think all. So as you were reading those, I was hearkening back to the, I don't tell anybody that our product will help them with ADHD or with anything in particular. I will tell you that it is a really good CBD product, and you should Google CBD. And that's yeah.
I know
That's the best I can put it.
Here in Utah, there's a ton. I mean, in every health food store you go to, there's a CBD section. There's a ton of stuff out there. Yeah, cool.
All right, Travis, thanks for being on the show here today. The second question we have for you is, what does biz for good or doing good in business mean to you, Travis?
It means to me, I thought about this, that from a business standpoint, and I can only speak to my industry. It's a new thing that we've got going on here, and it's think about like before the end of alcohol prohibition, right? And we've got just a few miles down the way the giant Coors factory, and so it's the risk level now is becoming lower and lower, so that more and more people are going to enter this industry. They're like people, big people, big money, like the Scott's company putting $500 million into it, which happened. But my advice to people when they want to enter the industry is get involved with the nonprofits. That's where you start off. If you want, I would do it if I switched to a different industry. But this is a movement that we've got going on here, and it takes a bunch of political stuff and a bunch of nonprofit stuff and a bunch of business stuff to make it work. And the first thing that you need to do is get involved with your nonprofits and start supporting them. That's to get a job in this industry, it's the same thing. Go find a nonprofit and volunteer and get out there and start working for the cause, I guess. Our particular cause that really what I spend my effort toward is American medical refugees. There's a group called American Medical Refugees. It's not what I spent all my effort on or something, but the thing that I'll explain the monster truck in a second, what I mean by what we're putting our resources toward. But American Medical Refugees is a nonprofit founded by Amy Dawn Berlin Hilterbrand, who they have, I think, 300 families in their group, and they support them. These medical refugees moved from other states to Colorado, so I'd say at least half of them are for their kids, and at least half of those kids in particular is intractable epilepsy, like Dravet syndrome, stuff where they have to choose as parents between letting their kid have seizures in Texas or just giving up everything they've got and moving to Colorado. And it breaks my heart. It's not right. So that's an example of a nonprofit that I feel strongly about. So like we sponsored a monster truck recently, and on the hood of the monster truck we put our logo and American Medical Refugees and U.S. patent 6630507, which and with the press release and everything that we did around it, we were explaining to people we're on a logo, or our logo's on a truck that's up in Wyoming, and We'd love to bring all these kids, these American medical refugees, to the monster truck show, but we can't because it's north of the border. It's north of Colorado. They can't leave Colorado and take their seizure meds with them, for example, let alone all the, adults, But the U.S. patent 6630507 is the U.S. government's, one of its patents on cannabis, on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants. And the best way I can put it is if you have ever known anybody with Alzheimer's disease, if you read the government's patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants, it will just piss you off. It will make you mad that they have a patent on it for its medicinal value for Alzheimer's, right? The U.S. government does. Patent number 6630507. And because of that patent, we know that the government knows that cannabis is medicinal, which is there are 3 criteria for a drug to be on Schedule 1. It has to be highly addictive, it has to have no accepted medical use, and it has to be so dangerous that you can't really even test it for future medical use. And that second one, the no accepted medical value, is directly contradicted by this U.S. patent 6630507. And so we put that on the hood of that truck as well. So that is the message that we are trying to get out to people, is that cannabis should not be a Schedule 1 drug. The reason for that is that it simply does not meet one of the 3 necessary criteria to be on Schedule 1. It has medical value. Therefore, it cannot be on Schedule 1. If it weren't on Schedule 1, then parents wouldn't have to leave everything in Texas or Oklahoma or Kansas and move to Colorado simply to stop their kid from having seizures. It's not right. Yeah, really, that's what I'm fired up about it when it comes to
I think he has a little passion around it. What do you think, Ryan?
Oh,
you have some
definitely,
passion around it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Awesome. Well, tell us about what can we do for the movement? What can people do for the movement? People that are interested, that want to get it out there. What do you suggest? What do they need to do to be a part of it? What can you tell the listeners?
This is my best suggestion to help us out. I'm writing on my hand 6630507. On Facebook, here, let me make it cooler for you. Yeah.
He's lighting it up.
6630507 is the U.S. government's patent on cannabinoids as neuroprotectants. On Facebook, there's a group called Talk to the 6630507 hand. Find us, just find us 6630507 hand.
And that'll open up some conversations to the legislature, to the government.
The woman Amy who started that and who started American Medical Refugees, she's in the dead center of this active fight to end prohibition, and so am I. Another thing that people, speaking of that, is Oklahoma is a state that we can potentially win this year. And there's a big voter, it's like a music festival, but the goal of it is to register voters. Oklahoma City, April 20. It's run by a hip-hop artist named Dre Gaines and his mom. Sorry to ramble. I just realized that I should say that. Oklahoma City, April 20th. It's a big deal. Oklahoma is an issue. Like one of our Canna fam, we call them, our fam, are these patients and business leaders and activists and in Denver it, who like we see each other all the time. But one of our Canna fam got pulled over in Oklahoma for having Colorado tags on her car. Happens all the time. Like you don't want to drive east on I-70 with Colorado tags unless you do the speed limit. Do like no more than the speed limit, or you're going to get pulled over. Happens all the time. So it happened to one of our Canna fam, Dr. Regina Nelson, who runs the it's an ECS Therapy Institute. Charlie talked about that, but she wrote one of the two main books that I recommend to people when they want to learn about the actual science of cannabis and what it can do for you. And so she's going to have to go to court in Oklahoma. It's kind of a battleground state this year.
So how long do you think it'll be before it's legal everywhere, at least medical?
I don't think it'll be long. I think it's going to be this year.
Really?
82% of this country is in favor of medical marijuana. There are only 18% of the people left. 82% of the voters. And the tide has truly turned. Like when we got a lot of press last summer because we were the first cannabis related company to sponsor a NASCAR driver, and it was the top series. It was the Monster Energy Cup. Before that it was a Sprint Cup, and then before that it was Nextel, and then Winston Cup, the thing, the big one. And we were on a car for that. So we got a lot of press from it, and I'm
NASCAR's kind of a big deal, right?
There are millions and millions. I can't tell you now. I'm sure that it is not the same now that it was then, because it's declining in popularity as far as at least TV time goes. All the pro sports are. But
YouTube has changed the world, hasn't it? Now we can watch cars crash really all day on YouTube.
Yeah, that's a fact. I don't know. Sorry, I got distracted by that thing. But it was really interesting. I guess what I want to get to about with NASCAR, I was gonna try and make a real point to it, but somebody made this car. They took a different car and they stripped off all the paint, stripped it all the way down, and then repainted it exactly like our car was at that race in Kansas.
Oh, awesome.
And they sent me 2 of them. And then later, it's Taz Racing Customs, by the way.
Oh, nice.
Are you kidding me? It's NASCAR fans are really, really big fans of the sport. Their NASCAR fans are avid. Oh, that's what I was going to say with the stat. In 2011, NASCAR was the number 2 and the number 4 sport. The Sprint Cup was the second most watched sport after football, and the Nationwide Series at the time was number 4. So they've gone down from that. But your original question about, I'm saying millions and millions and millions of people. It's a big deal. And NASCAR fans really get behind their drivers in ways that unless you're either into NASCAR or you're doing NASCAR business, it's really hard to understand until you see it. But so when a NASCAR driver puts on the hood of his car our company, which is a hemp company that makes CBD products, and when he says, you know what, guys, I'll do business with this company, these guys are all right, and he gets it, and it makes a big difference. It really has an impact on the fans of that driver. And so that is, there is quite a bit of overlap. If you look at where the NASCAR tracks are, for example, and where cannabis is still prohibited, there's a pretty big overlap there.
Oh, that's very strategic, right?
Yeah.
So let's. We gotta wrap it up. What do you? Is there? Where can we go find out more stuff? I know there's VeedVerk.
VeedVerk.
VeedVerk.com, right?
VeedVerks.com.
VeedVerks.com.
We're check out our Facebook page. We're going live quite a bit through VeedVerks on Facebook. We also have kind of a little sub VeedVerks Racing.
VeedVerks
we
Racing.
We do a lot of racing stuff.
Cool.
We're into race cars and hemp.
Awesome.
And,
so is that where they can find anything and everything and anything else, any place else we can go to find more information out, any of that stuff?
No, that's really what I would recommend. VeedVerks.com. Hit us on Facebook.
Awesome.
That's really where we do most of our stuff. And talk to the 6630507 hand. A lot of information, like straight from the people fighting the fight, like the people suing Jeff Sessions right now. Like that's where this information is being disseminated.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks, man. Thanks, Travis, for being on the show. We appreciate it. It's cool to see everybody doing all kinds of amazing things and believing and having passion in what they're doing and helping the world and doing things to change the world. We love it, love it, love it. You want to take us out, Ryan?
Yeah, thanks, Travis, for being on the show and bringing this awareness out to Utah. We appreciate that. We'll go ahead and end the show today with you with the hashtag #BeGoodDoGood. We say it 3 times here on the show to end out the show. So you can say it along with us if you'd like, usually on the 3rd time. But here we go. Hashtag #BeGoodDoGood. Hashtag #BeGoodDoGood.
Hashtag #BeGoodDoGood.